I recently sold a custom Cullinan to a client of mine, and he decided that he was going to give that vehicle to his father as a gift. He called me up and said that he wanted to replace it, but he wanted to get a little bit more bespoke, if you will, with the next Cullinan. And I immediately invited him to join me at the private office in Manhattan. We've met numerous times in my office. We built his first Cullinan at my desk, but I knew taking him to the private office, he would have a better appreciation of the possibilities. The point of the private office, right, is to give more inspiration. The costs are the same. The experience is much different. Here in the showroom, absolutely, I've got an extensive array of colors and different materials for you to select from, but at the private office, it's a much more in-depth selection that they have. A visit to the private office is very exclusive. No one gets to just show up there. You have to be invited. It's a very unassuming space from the outside. There is no Rolls-Royce sign or anyone standing out there to tell you, here's your destination. It's very low-key. You cannot find it unless you know exactly where you're going. And my phone kept telling me, you have reached your destination, and I'm looking around and I see nothing. My client showed up on time. He called me from downstairs telling me he couldn't find the address. I met him in front of the building, walked him in. There were two representatives from the factory, our regional rep, as well as one of the Rolls-Royce designers.
It's awesome, right? It's just about having a conversation, showcasing what we can do.
And it was interesting. I recall her asking him questions that at first glance you wouldn't think had anything to do with building a car. For example, she asked him to describe for her a scene that he and his wife enjoy looking at and will always remember. It turned out that they really had an affinity for the beach. And long story short, she ended up incorporating some earth tones into a model for them to consider for their new Cullinan.
Having two of the warm colors, one main color, and then one accent warm color, another warm color. I recommend this over rose gold.
Yeah,
Same.
for sure, same.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, those are the colors that they ended up going with. And he was telling us some of the things that he wanted to incorporate, placed perforation, that was very important to him. My client didn't want carbon fiber inside of his black badge. Well, some of us know that that's really not an option. All black badges have carbon fiber, right? Unless you go to the private office and explain that you aren't interested in carbon fiber. And they presented him with different wood options that he could explore. So just the endless amount of possibility I found very, very exciting.
Yeah, with the rose gold Spirit of Ecstasy, that just really ties it together.
Yeah.
Love it.
Commissioning a Rolls-Royce is a very personal, extensive experience that takes time and attention to detail, right? And when you have the designers there in-house sitting next to you to bounce your ideas off of and to get immediate feedback is priceless. Sitting in that office, it felt like I was in Goodwood, and I've been to Goodwood. Instead of me thinking about the vehicles and how they're being manufactured, at the private office, I'm thinking about how can I build one? What can I do different with this vehicle and just make it exciting, right? When you're at the private office, you have all of these beautiful samples around you, all of the leathers, the wood, the stitching, the chrome, just everything is there to give you just more inspiration. And as you start designing it, you start to take ownership of the project. It feels like it's your own. They have a wall of different paint sample colors, and many of the colors have their own individual stories. They will have a conversation with you about creating a custom color, right, that is exclusive to you. And once that color is created, right, no one else can use that paint without your permission. I want to say we spent maybe 3 hours with the designer, showing him different mock-ups. My client thought the experience was world-class. This was my first time at the private office, and it was a great experience. Moving forward, anyone who tells me they're interested in commissioning a bespoke Rolls-Royce, I am absolutely suggesting that we go to the private office. Nothing would make me happier than to be inundated with requests to visit the private office. Have no fear. You're not going to find it unless we take you.